Hello, my name is Helen Oshislawski, and thank you for joining me for a HIPAA Minute. Today's question is, if I simply do nothing to comply with HIPAA, does this really pose any tangible risk to me? Any healthcare provider that willfully decides to do nothing with respect to HIPAA compliance is putting himself or herself at risk for being assessed civil monetary penalties by either the federal government or the state's attorney general. The mandatory penalty amount for willful neglect of a HIPAA requirement is $50,000 per violation of a requirement, up to a maximum of $1.5 million for all violations of a single requirement. Before the PostHighTech amendments, HIPAA allowed enforcers of HIPAA to exercise discretion as to whether or not penalties would be assessed for noncompliance. However, PostHighTech, if a provider has willfully neglected HIPAA's requirements, the federal government is mandated to investigate and assess penalties. In addition, there are additional sources from which the federal government can now learn about a provider's noncompliance. Previously, HIPAA investigations were triggered only if a complaint was filed with the federal government. Now, the new high-tech breach notification requirements mandate providers to self-report any unauthorized disclosures of patients' information. This mandated self-reporting of breaches has become a significant way that the federal government can learn about potential HIPAA privacy or security issues, which might warrant further investigation. Several such self-reported breaches have already resulted in the federal government entering into resolution agreements with providers. One physician group in Arizona had to pay $100,000 to the federal government for failing to adequately safeguard patients' information in accordance with the HIPAA security rule. Finally, the federal government has also contracted an auditor to conduct random HIPAA compliance audits. These audits have taken place over the last 2 years and are expected to continue. Therefore, in light of all the new enforcement mechanism and the increased penalties, providers should not ignore HIPAA compliance. I hope that you found this HIPAA Minute helpful and will join me again soon. Please remember that a HIPAA Minute is not legal advice, and if you have specific questions about HIPAA or other legal issues, you should consult with an attorney who can advise you directly.